Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2, where we are in the city of Tampere. And today we have kind of a special challenge. So I have been playing around with the city for about a week now, and I can't seem to avoid a pitfall that we are definitely coming up on, and that is the destruction of our city through population decline. And it's kind of funny. I think it's still a remnant of the Economy 2.0 patch, because one of the things that they talked about was a rebalancing. And so the big problem we face right now is because our city is so large, the simulation actually takes a long time to run. It takes about 24 minutes per month, roughly, maybe a little bit less. Our time is just not moving very quickly. And so I did let the game run for a bit, and I did end up making some changes. So we already had about a 20,000 person drop in population, though it's kind of funny. We're raising back up now. I let the game sit for about 2 to 3 hours, ran the simulation, and then I also added in a few more crematoriums. And then I added in a pretty cool little cemetery over here. I felt like it was just a really good spot kind of over here on the water. I thought it looked pretty. I did a little road and then put some of the, the mausoleums on it and stuff. And I did the temple over here, and then I just crematorium on the side. And so now our big problem is still the one that's been plaguing us for a while, and it is unemployment. And it's kind of funny. We're now getting these notifications for high resource costs, and they are all in relation to beverages. So if we come through and click on these little guys, they normally sell beverages. I actually haven't found one that is not related to beverages. And so what this does is it kind of shows us a kink in our production chain. And so we haven't done a whole lot of industry in this city. And so let's go ahead and open up that city economy tab. So I will click on material goods, and I'm going to come all the way down here and look for beverages. And so you can kind of see right now we're actually producing 0 kilograms a month. And so this is a huge deficit. And this is why a lot of these places are having problems. They're having to import all their Pepsis and their Cokes. And it's a really large city. And especially in real life, Coke or Pepsi or whatever the beverage manufacturer that is selling to all of these businesses, they'd probably open up a plant. And so what we're going to be doing is working on this area, and we're going to be getting a little crazy. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing we need to do is actually trim this back a little bit. I want to have this road kind of meander through, and this is actually going to be our collector road for this area, because it's really just going to help us to manage that traffic. So we want this to come up all the way over here, and we want to try to line up with that road. Then we will come up over here, and let's go ahead and have it land like right there. Fantastic. So then I'm going to go into roundabouts, grab very large concrete roundabout with trees and hedge, because I really like the centerpieces of this. I think this is so cool. I can't wait to be able to just grab this concrete and like make my own planters and stuff of my own. And so now that we have that, I do want to create a little bit of an outline. So I'm going to go to small roads, grab this 2-lane road. So what we're going to do is actually draw a road around here, because I want to have a little bit of a separation. This is going to be a pretty large industrial area, but I don't want to ruin this waterfront. I feel like it would just be a huge loss. And then on this side, what we're going to do is let's actually have that curve just a little bit less so that we can go underneath that road. I feel like that's going to be pretty important for us. So we'll go just like that. Fantastic. So now we have this connection. We have this road over here as well. Let's go ahead and do a medium-sized road connected in here just to provide some more accessibility. A lot of times this is just really how you're going to, eliminate that traffic. So we're going to go just like that. Fantastic. So I think what we're also going to do, let's go ahead and do one coming down the middle as well, just because I know it's going to increase that overall connectivity. So we'll bring this down, and then let's go ahead and bring this over here, and then I'm just going to go straight and have it dump in. I actually think we could have maybe had that go a little bit straighter. I think that would make it look a little bit better. So let's go like that. And then what we're going to do is actually turn this into a roundabout. These are going to be pretty high volume intersections, and so we want to keep the traffic flowing. So we're going to come down here. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a smaller one for this side. Yeah, we'll go like that. And then let's do a small one for there. So we are going to do something similar to a grid pattern in here. I do want to break it up, though, because I think grids can be kind of boring a lot of times, though they are highly functional, especially if you're trying to navigate a city. So we are going to bring these all the way down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a couple breaks in the grid that are just going to make it a little bit more interesting. So we'll go like that. Let's go ahead and have one come all the way across, and we will connect it up. And then I think we will grab our small alley now. And let's go ahead and just add in a few of these. We don't want to get too crazy with these, but these would be pretty important connections as well. And then let's go ahead. We need to have this connect up with the road over here. Let's go ahead and have it connect up right there. I'm tempted to not even have it connect because of that roundabout. You know what? Because it's so close to this one, I think we're going to leave that. Yeah, I don't think we want to get too crazy with that just yet. So then now let's go ahead and bring this all the way down. We want to capture a pattern in here. It's just going to help it to look a little bit better if we can have this come down. Yeah, if we go like that. And then let's go ahead and turn it at 90. And basically I'm going to fill all this in, and then we'll come back through and we'll be able to change a lot of this once we have it all drawn out. Okay, and so just a few seconds later, I am at a place where I feel pretty good about it. I did leave some spaces empty for us to do some big factories and stuff. And so now before we do anything else, I want to go into roads, I want to go into road services and go to traffic lights. And I want to remove the traffic lights off of our main road, because this is just going to help to keep that traffic flow. So we're going to come through here. And even though this isn't a main road, we probably could upgrade this to a big road on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and remove them as well. And then this one going through here. And this is just going to really help to keep that access and the flow. The traffic flow is really important. All right, so now I want to go into transportation and go into subways. And I want to place a couple of our underground stations, especially since we do have some pretty good access over here. I want to probably put one right here. And then let's go ahead and have this turn, and we could do 2 over here or just 1. Let's do 1 right next to the roundabout. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good spot. So then we'll go into double subway track, hit that page down button twice, go into continuous, and we are going to connect this up, go to 180. We want this to turn, just go around that pond and then connect up. Fantastic. And then we will do the same thing over here, but we needed to connect up with our main line. So we're gonna just have it go straight, and then we'll have it connect up over here. Fantastic. And it looks like that's actually a little bit lower. How much lower is that? So it's about the same. And so now what we can do, if we go into the subway line tool, we can hold that left mouse button after selecting the destination route or the line. We can go like this and then come all the way to our new stop, grab the line, go like that, go like this. Fantastic. And we are going to be short on trains for this one. We do need to add in another rail yard, but I'm not going to, this doesn't end up becoming too busy of a line just yet. And so I think what we're going to do is probably put that off for a future date, because I don't really want to put it over here. We already got like so much going on over here. I feel like by putting in another one, it's just going to become kind of like a weird offshoot. And so it is going to give us this no vehicles. We could go into the info panel and into transportation and possibly take some trains from another line. Possibly even maybe this green line. It looks like, so that one's got 4. And this one's our harbor line that goes all the way down to our harbor and kind of loops around. Doesn't look like it's too busy. This one looks pretty good. I wonder if we can drop this down to 4. And then let's go back and choose that other one out. And we are going to just bump it up by 1 just to give, so we have 8, 9, 10. So we have 14. Yeah, so we can go 2 on this one. Fantastic. So now we'll have 1, 2, and that way at least the headway's a little bit better, and that's just the amount of time people have to wait. So for a lot of this, the goal is to just zone it in, and then we're probably going to come back through and do some parking lots and stuff. We have a huge need for jobs, and so we really want to try to get as much as we can. I am going to leave these sections closest to the water empty though, because I want to turn it into like a little it's not really going to be a tourist attraction because it's right next to the industrial, but I feel like it would be nice if we did something with it, like maybe a walking path or maybe some commercial or something, like maybe even people who are at work could come down here and enjoy the day or something like that. And so we do want to come through here now and actually just put in some low density into some of these squares. We don't want to get too crazy with it, but we do want a couple of them to be like little shops and stuff. The idea is for us to pretty much do the same thing over here. Our demand is going to be a little up and down while we're doing this, and so we are going to have to kind of come back and pay attention to what we need. Let's go ahead and do the commercial first, just so that we're not getting ahead of ourselves. So come in here, do a big one. Let's do a corner guy over there. Let's do a corner guy over here. And again, these are just going to be like your 7-Elevens or your little corner shops for people so that they can grab something to eat or maybe even some gas or something. So we'll go like that. Fantastic. We can actually unpause it. We want the game to unfold. And so now that we have that, let's go ahead and jump back into our industrial, and we're going to be getting pretty crazy with this. So the idea is to come back through and do like some parking lots and stuff like that. I want to make this look as good as possible. I don't want it to just be all crazy zoned in, which it does still kind of look good, but I think it looks a little bit better if you can add some character to it as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the zoning off of this road because I do want the zoning to be on the side, especially for those industrial roads. You don't get as many deliveries in City Skylines 2 as City Skylines 1. They're still pretty buggy, especially the warehouses. The warehouses, for some reason, have an issue with efficiency. And so you don't really get any deliveries at all. The trucks kind of just stay in maintenance, which kind of sucks, which definitely contributes to the fact that big industrial areas like this can work right now. In City Skylines 1, if you did something like this, it would just create a huge congested mess right in the middle. But in this game, it doesn't really seem to do that. It's kind of funny. It definitely, I think, because the traffic is just optimized a little bit better, but then it also could just have something to do with the lack of delivery vehicles and stuff. And so I'm wondering if it's going to change. Like if they update it, is it going to be a thing where traffic is just going to become so crazy that we have to delete a lot of these industrial buildings? So I'm skipping areas in here again because this is an office zone. And so I want to do parking lots and I want to do trees. I really want to make it look good. That's kind of the idea with this whole design. So we'll do a big park in the middle, and then we'll just have zoning around the outside. And this will make it so that honestly, it raises the land value for the area if you can do something like this. It just makes it a little bit better for people who are working here. And then I think for this side, what we're going to do is actually turn this into like a commercial center. And this would be where you'd have all your restaurants. I don't know if there'd really be any shops. It'd be mostly restaurants for people servicing this area, again, for lunches or even dinners in the area. This is really going to boost up our city a lot. This is a lot of jobs. And so while that is building out, let's go ahead and place a couple signature buildings. And so that was kind of the idea behind some of these bigger areas. We do still have a few signature buildings that are quite large. And so I don't really want to get too crazy with some of the ones that we don't really have services for. But because we're such a big city, it would be maybe fair to assume that they would just be import businesses and they would be in the city because of our education pool. And then let's do a parking lot. We need to do a few parking lots. So we'll go into parking, and I would like to do the big one. I don't know if we're going to be able to though. I wonder if we could squeeze it in like right here. Yeah, it looks like we can. So if we go like that, yeah, that actually looks pretty good too. So then let's see if we can do the same thing on this side. So we will grab this, come down. And let's go ahead and did I anarchy one of those things in? Was I a little bit too close for that? I think I was, yeah. So if we come down here now, nope, well, it doesn't look like it's going to allow me because of the turn, which is okay. So we'll come back through here now. Let's do the small one. We'll do the small one in there. Oh, you know what? It's because of the road. It's because I anarchied it. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go like that. And then let's maybe do another one right next to it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I may play around with move it just to make that a little bit closer. But then that way, I mean, we have adequate parking. This is a little bit far, but there would probably be a walk up for people who are working here. And then let's check out some of our other buildings. So I know I want to get the switch on, and I want to get the pharma and also the ground earth, because those are industries that we do have a pretty high concentration of in the city. So I think for the switch on one, I feel like this is a pretty good little spot right here. Let's go ahead and turn off anarchy. So if we place that right there, let's go into the road tab, grab our large parking lot again, and then come up here, draw right next to this. Because for any of these factories, parking would just be so important. So we'll place that like that. That actually looks pretty good. I like those little spots. I like having the big buildings. I think they really help to make industrial areas just look a lot better. So then let's do the pharma one as well. Which one did we do? Yeah, we did switch on. So the pharma one's a little bit smaller, thankfully. So I wonder if we can place this. Let's go up. Yeah, we'll go just like that. And then let's go ahead and put a parking lot right next to it again. It's a little bit bigger than the building, but you know what? We'll probably do a road on the backside just to break it up. So if we do a road, of course, we have a little pathway that is anarchy. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Let's see how that looks. It looks like it might be. Oh, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. I do wish this was a little bit better. I wonder if we can just make this just ever so slightly better. Maybe we'll come in from the other side. Yeah, if we go like that. There we go. That looks a lot better. I like the little curve too. It adds some interest. And then let's see about placing our last one. So ground earth. Ground earth actually isn't that big. And so I think we could maybe even put this one over here, which could be kind of cool. So if we place that like that, and then let's do another parking lot again right next to it. Ground earth is probably the one that's maybe most pertinent to us because we do have quite a bit of rock quarries in the city. But then what that does is it just helps to kind of break up these sections a little bit, especially as we come back through here and do some trees. I may still play around with this. This doesn't look the greatest. I wish I could move that parking lot just a little bit. I wonder if maybe we do a small road in. I think that could be good. So if we grab this and then turn it now, yeah, if we go like this, what I should be able to do is actually have a road come off of it. And this could actually be good. So we'll turn on snapping. We'll have this come down. Yeah, connect up just like this. Fantastic. And then we can have this connect up as well. Yeah, we don't really want it to go straight because then people start using this as like a cut through. We don't really want this to be used as a cut through. And then let's go ahead and remove lights off of those two connections. We'll go just like that, just like that. Let's go ahead and remove a light off of that. Fantastic. And then that way we can probably come in here and do a small parking lot or a big one. Yeah, there we go. And then that way we should be able to just come in here with a road. Let's go ahead and go in the middle. Fantastic. Look at that. Yeah, that actually looks a lot better. That looks way better. And then I think over here we could cut that just to make it look a little bit better. But I think once we put in trees and stuff, this is really going to bring it all together. And so I do want this to continue coming in. You can see we're already getting a lot of these warehouses. And these warehouses, I think one of the problems is, and I'm sure that the game developers are already aware of it, but you see how the regular yellow industry has an efficiency percentage? Well, the warehouses don't. And so I think that there's some sort of bug with the warehouses where they're not getting the efficiency in, or maybe when they were coding it, something happened. Because what's happening is the vehicles are getting stuck in maintenance, and vehicles are stuck in maintenance in relation to the overall efficiency. And so I think that the issues we are currently having with warehousing is tied to that somehow. I did try to play around with whether it was going to be close to certain industries, whether that would help, or whether you had like import, like ports near it, if that would help, but it doesn't. So I ended up doing like a big industrial area over here, and I still got a bunch of warehouses, and I was like, man, the port's right there. Like they should be able to import or export. And for some reason they just couldn't, because they were even close to rock storage as well. And it just wasn't something that was happening. And it's kind of funny, we're not even really getting any of the ore ones either, even though we do have quite a bit of rock industry in the city. And we are getting oil ones too, and we don't have any oil. And so I'm not really sure what the whole breakdown for these are. All right, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and fill in some of these other spaces. And I do want to continue on our grid, but because of the main road, I want to be careful of our overall connection. So I think what we're going to do is have this turn, and then we'll have this probably come down and connect up down here. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a better connection. I really want to limit how many times we actually connect up to the main road down here, because I think it's just going to create some problems if we do too many intersections. It's not the greatest to have this within an industrial zone, but it does help the main road to continue going on. And so for these sections, we will do some more industrial, since that's really what we need in the city. We really need to boost up that manufacturing. And then I think on this side, what we're going to do is have this cut across, and then we'll use this as a base reference for our grid, and then we'll actually break it up. So we'll have this come down, turn it to 90. That was actually 91, so we want to fix that. So we'll come down here, have it turn it to 90. Perfect. Have this come down, and we are going to need to remove those lights, and then we'll actually change our position for this side. And what this does is it prevents cars from using this as like a shortcut, like using a lot of these roads. This is going to look really cool when it's done. I'm kind of excited for this. I wasn't really excited about doing another industrial episode, but the city really needs it. And so I was like, we didn't do enough on the last episode, which we didn't. Go ahead and do commercial zoning. Because these are a little bit smaller, I'm actually going to zone them all in. And I think for this side, what we're going to do is some more office space. So we will grab this road, have it come down. And then let's go ahead and create a small connection in here. So we'll have this come off at a 90 and then turn. Yeah, there we go. Because then we don't really want just one entrance in there. It's just going to create a really large cul-de-sac. So then we will come in here. Let's go ahead and do some office off the main road. And we'll probably even come back and remove some of that for some parking. And then let's come in here now. Let's go ahead and do some industrial. Let's go ahead and do some small commercial off this side too. I think we're going to leave this backside empty. So I'm tempted to grab a small road. Yep, go like this. Have it turn. Fantastic. Have it come this way. Go like that. And then let's go ahead and do connection going straight. I wish that was a little bit straighter. So if we go like that, yeah, that's going to be, it does break it up a little bit, but honestly, it's going to help prevent people from using this as a cut through, which is good. And then I think for a lot of these outer sections, we're just going to leave it as trees. It does look like we need to do some industrial zoning on this side. Yeah, we'll go like that. Fantastic. And then let's just scatter some commercial in here. So we do need to get some services in here as well. And I think we're going to put them right next to this lake. I think this is just going to be a really cool spot for them. So if we come off there at a 90, go like that, let's go ahead and do small road in. So we'll grab our alley, have this go up, and we need to do a medical facility. So we will do the medical office or the medical clinic, have that go like that. And then let's go ahead and do the firehouse just across the street. And then I think we're just going to I could do the police office right there, or I could do another road in. Let's go ahead and put in a small parking lot right next to this. And then let's see if the police station will fit right next to it. I don't know if it will. Yeah, the police station's a little bit bigger. So we will now grab our alley, have this come up, put it at 90, and then turn. And then I think what we're going to do is put the police station back here. Yeah, I think this is going to look good. I'm still trying to leave some space so that we don't fill it all in, because I think it just tends to look a little bit better if you leave space for trees and stuff like that. So then we do want to give these buildings all their upgrades. We'll go like this. Let's go ahead and do one of these off to the side. Perfect. And we'll probably just put in some trees right there. This is already looking pretty good. I like the overall look of this. Let's go ahead and do a small pathway kind of meandering through. This would just be like a small extended sidewalk again. Seem to be doing these quite a bit. It's also to block the zoning, but it is something that you do see as well, especially on bigger roads. It can make the road a little bit safer if you give a setback to the sidewalk. So then we will do office space around there. We got some commercial on the inside. Let's go ahead and do some parking. We don't want to get too crazy with the parking because I do want to leave some room for some more zoning. It actually might be nice to get a couple bits of like high density in here. I think that could be good. So if we did just a little bit of high density, because then what it's going to do is we'll get like some high rise, like it'd be almost like office buildings, but they'd be commercial uses as well. So like maybe theaters or malls or something like that. And so this is already looking pretty cool. So let's go into our info view, go to population and look at that unemployment. Yeah, we're already at 17%. Our population is still declining. And so if we look up here, we can see our death rate is still very high. Our birth rate's still holding pretty good. I think this is about what it stays at. Our move-in rate has now jumped up quite a bit. For a while, our moved away rate was much higher than moving in. And so that seems to have balanced a little bit, especially with the addition of all the jobs. So now let's come over here and let's see if we can find any that are producing beverages. There's one right there. And so this one, it says that they're only getting by, even though they are producing beverages, and the whole city is basically in need of beverages. So they're running a negative balance, and it looks like they're actually losing money. It says they have 0.81 tons of beverages, and they have enough grain. So I don't know if maybe they're having to import the grain at a higher cost. And so one of the things we can do is actually put in the town hall, and this is something that we don't have already. And so I had identified this location quite a while ago, so I want to go ahead and put the city hall right next to our elementary right here. I had kind of thought about removing the elementary, but I think that this is actually going to be an okay look to keep that right next to it, because we do have kind of some ruins in the back. So maybe if we did like a park or something back here, it would kind of bring it all together. But we do get some bonuses with this that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for that -2% import cost citywide. The crime rate city bonus is pretty good too. So is the building level cost. These are all huge, especially for businesses. And so if we go back to that same business now, if I can find it, I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, beverages. It should really help their overall profitability, especially if we let this run a minute. So then on this waterfront side, what I want to do is go ahead and add in some more low density. And I'm using the NA because I think it just looks a little bit better. It's a little more squared off. And for this side, we're actually going to do full zoning, as I would assume this would actually be pretty high value for a lot of these businesses. Because this is kind of in the back, we do need to worry about traffic to these businesses, but I think overall we're doing pretty good. So we'll go ahead and do full zoning right there. We definitely need to add in a lot. And so let's go ahead and do some commercial right there. Let's do a bit of commercial right there as well. Let's go ahead and remove that on the corner. Let's add in some office space over here. And I think we already got full zoning. This is looking pretty cool. And I like the empty spaces as well. Like I think for this one, we could actually do maybe another office park. For the other sides, I think that it looks good. This one I think is just a little too big, maybe, if we go like that. And then what we can do is have this come up and then end in that square and go like that. I think I'm actually at an angle, which I don't want to do. I want to come off at a 90. And so let's go ahead and check out that metro line now and see how it's doing. I want to see if we're getting any sort of ridership out of this. I'm hoping that we're at least getting some Yeah, it looks like these stops have actually grown quite a bit. And so what I'm thinking is we are getting an increase in ridership, which is fantastic. And those are all vehicles that would otherwise be driving down here. Now they don't have to. And so I think this is looking really good. I like the overall appeal. I like the areas. I do want to come through and do some detailing for this, especially for this middle section. So I'm going to do like a pond and then some walking paths and stuff like that. Just kind of bring it all together. I think it's going to look really good. So I'm going to jump into a detailing time lapse and go ahead and wrap it all up. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, so after a little bit of time, I feel pretty good with where we are at. And so I decided not to go a little crazy with this waterfront just because it's an industrial area. So I did a bunch of pathways. I did do some pergolas in some of these locations. I didn't do a lot though. The key here would really just be kind of benches and areas for people to sit. But then around some of our bigger industrial parks, I did do groomed grass. I did some hedges around here, did some trees just to kind of clean it up. Like maybe this would be, like a Fortune 500 company that owns this plant. So a lot of them do have some of these manicured outside areas. And then for a lot of it, I just did trees. I did a lot of pathways. I tried to increase some connectivity going through a lot of these areas. Like you can see, I did some crosswalks in here. And then I just filled in a lot of the available space with trees to make it, in my opinion, look a little bit more realistic. Like maybe all the plots of land haven't sold, but this is just kind of, grown over time. But really, this just solves a big problem for us. And so that's really where a lot of this build comes in. So if we go into the info views, we can go down to population now. And we can see that our unemployment is at 16% now, and this is huge. And we're actually on an uptrend now. We're up near 220 again. And so we had gone all the way down to about like 180, 190, and we're back all the way up to 220. And so the city has definitely balanced. And so I do want to take a look at healthcare and death care as well. We do still have a pretty high death rate, but it has definitely gone down about 500 to 600 a month. And so what that leads me to believe, if we go back over to population, is that it's these seniors that are kind of balancing out, and these teens, because the teens were actually really low. It was about like 10%, and then the adults was like 40. And so this was kind of a little less balanced rather than having a more even range of ages. And so I think the death waves have something to do with the seniors kind of balancing out, because we definitely had a really high population of seniors within our city. And so the one area that I think is really cool, I did end up putting in a lake in here. I did a little bridge going across, which I'm not really sure how I feel about having this suspension bridge. I think it might be a little out of place, like maybe a little overdone. But then I did some of those sunken down oaks. I did a lot of boulders. I did that riverbed decal going all the way around. I think it looks really cool. I did trees going around, and I just wanted to create a space where like maybe you're in one of these high rises working at like a law office or something like that. And so for lunch, you could come out here and kind of just hang out and enjoy this serene, little lake in here, which would be a huge selling point for this office park. And so go ahead and let me know what you guys think. I know this was definitely a shorter episode, but we solved a lot of problems in this, and we definitely created a cool area. So now if we take a zoom out, this definitely completes a big section of our city. You can see that our beverages are still struggling. I'm really not sure what to do at this point, because look, so even this one says high resource cost, but they're running at 100% profitability, and their efficiency is 113, and they have 1.7 million simoleons in the bank. So that just doesn't really make sense to me. So I don't know if maybe it's an import issue, like maybe we're having problems with our cargo harbor being too far, or maybe some of our trains aren't working, because I know we are having some issues with intercity cargo. Cargo in general is just not super efficient right now. I think a lot of it is being worked on, but I also think a lot of it may have to do with our city just getting too big. And so it's just having a hard time. So like a lot of these are doing a lot. Like this one's actually almost a kiloton, which is huge. So let's actually see. So cargo train terminal and Gilling. So that one is actually going both directions, which is awesome. So I wonder which one that is. I think it's this one over here. This one seems to be doing okay, but a lot of these trains are empty, So like this one right there, empty. A lot of the trains that leave as well, like this one's only got 59 tons. They're just not full. And so I don't know if there's some sort of issue with the deliveries or something, but it's just a persistent problem. But I think we definitely have avoided our potential population collapse. And so I view this episode as a success. And so on the next episode, we are going to be playing around with this area. I really want to do an expansion kind of going across this water. I think it's going to be really fun. I do have a really cool idea to extend our little metro over here as well and do another little downtown. And then I think we're going to be adding in some more industrial. We are getting near to the end of this city. I think it's just becoming a little bit too big for the game's current capacity. It is getting really large, especially our population. I'm going to try to squeeze as many episodes out of it as I can, but I am currently playing around with some new maps and some new ideas, and so I'm super excited about that. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that like button. It definitely helps me out a lot, and so I will catch you guys on the next episode.